When I first played Breath of the Wild, I fell in love with the cooking system. While exploring, I picked up every material, and every time I came back to town, I sat there experimenting with the cooking pot, excited to see what I could make. It was so much fun, until it wasn't. If you've played the game, you eventually come to the same conclusion we all do. This cooking system isn't a vast ocean to explore, it's more of a puddle. You start ignoring the recipe posters scattered around the world and collect the same 6 ingredients because the others just aren't worth your time. You realize that every meal you make is just another health potion, with a little bit of spice here and there. But when designing our game, we started thinking, what is this system missing? How can we take the elements that initially made Breath of the Wild's cooking system so much fun and enhance it to give our game's potion brewing system a sense of excitement, discovery, and longevity? Here's what we learned, the challenges we faced along the way, and how we made one of our game's key systems The potion brewing in our game is intentionally simple and is pulled directly out of the world the game is based on, Obojima. So how does the actual brewing system work? Well, after collecting ingredients from across the island of Obojima, you simply toss any 3 of them into your cauldron, hit the brew button, and boom, you've brewed a potion. Each combination could brew a different one out of the 180 different potions in the game, or you could discover a new recipe for a potion you already know. You might say, wait, that's it? No minigame? No immersive potion crafting mechanics? And you would be correct. With this system, we have different goals than a game like Potion Craft, great game by the way, where instead of exclusively running this potion shop and navigating the alchemy map, our game encourages you to leave your shop and use your potions during your travels to solve various problems. If we compare our character to Link, we have stripped them of the innate abilities and given them to 180 different potions. Our system is designed to feed into the exploration of our handcrafted world and allow you to unlock new areas, progress NPC quests, solve puzzles, and access new ingredients, which then unlock new potions and continue the game's core loop. Don't get me wrong, we do have shop sim mechanics. No cozy game would be complete without a capitalism minigame. However, we decided that we don't want the player sitting in this potion shop for the runtime of the game. Obojima is a magical world full of fun locations, and we would be doing it a disservice if we didn't let the player explore it. First, we built the basics of the system. Luckily for me, I'm adapting this from the Obojima book, which means the math is already done. That said, there was still a lot of data I had to input. Earlier I mentioned that all a player has to do is combine 3 ingredients together to brew a potion. And that is true, but in the back end, there's a little more going on. To start, let me explain how potion brewing works in the book. Each ingredient in Obojima has 3 numbers assigned to it. These numbers are always the same and are put into 3 categories: whimsy, utility, and combat. When you combine 3 ingredients together, you have a total of 9 numbers, 3 in each category. Then to brew a potion, you first find the sum of each category. Whichever number is the highest of the 3 categories determines the potion you just brewed. Of course, in our game, all of this math is done for you. Once you hit the button, the potion system will calculate the potion you just brewed and pull its information from our potion database. It then checks if it's a new potion or if it's a new recipe for a known potion and saves it in my known recipes dictionary. Now at any time, you can pop open your journal and check out the new recipe if you ever need to remember how to brew something. What we like about this is that you are discovering recipes. Your recipe for a certain potion might be different from another player's recipe, depending on which ingredients they found. Once again, Godot 4's UI tools make the UI pretty easy to build. I can slap a few containers in here, drop in my custom theme, and Godot's built-in functionality automatically does a lot of the heavy lifting. I'm really fortunate for the built-in UI navigation system, more specifically this one function, grab focus. For example, in this grid container that stores your ingredients, if a node here grabs focus, the built-in UI navigation will detect your inputs and move focus accordingly. It really surprised me how well this works out of the box, and you can easily mark nodes that should never grab focus. Now, if you'll allow me one minor complaint with the system. If I hold down a UI direction on the controller, it never sends a repeated input. Obviously, if you hold down a direction, after a little delay, it should zoom across multiple items. However, it does work with a keyboard, just not the gamepad. After some reading, it seems like there's something with the operating system sending repeated inputs from the keyboard. I have no idea, but it seems like there are other people proposing something like this for the engine. But if any of you developers have found an easy solution here, I'd love to hear it. Okay, rant over. The 180 different potions came with a different set of challenges, specifically with how the potions function. In some cases, the potion can literally do exactly what it says in the book. Easy. However, in other cases, what does armor proficiency mean in our game? We'll have to change that one. Gain advantage? Thanks? Don't worry, we'll figure out good use cases for all of these, but they will definitely need to change because this isn't D&D. That said, with or without functionality, all 180 potions and 130 ingredients are now in the game. Now that the potions are implemented, it's time to start exploring. In our game, you always have your journal on you, which gives you quick access to your list of known potions, among other things. This will be critical for when a player stumbles on a puzzle or a locked area and needs to check if they have something that can deal with the situation. Maybe you discover a dark cave, but the journal reminds you that you know the glow skin potion. With a little preparation, you can come back with said potion and discover the secrets of the cave. Or perhaps you see a river you can't cross, but throwing a freezing potion solidifies the water briefly, letting you cross it safely. Maybe there's a hostile creature nearby that attacks you, but once you drink an animal affinity potion, you're able to soothe it and collect its fur for potion brewing. Or maybe an area is caved in, but once you discover the bottled bomb, you can now blow up the rocks blocking the way. We plan to fill the world with these sorts of little interactions. Comparing it to our inspiration in Breath of the Wild, imagine if the mushroom risotto somehow solved some mushroom or Italian-related situation. What if you cooked the mushroom risotto and immediately thought, I know where I can use this? That's the feeling we're after here. To pull this off, we'll need to implement a lot of content. It's no small task to make all of these potions usable, let alone solve interesting and unique problems all over the world. Generally, when designing a system like this, you want things to be easily replicable and expandable. And for some of these potions, I can reuse the functionality, but since most of these potions should have unique behavior, we're going to need a good amount of code that's only used once. Yes, it will be a lot of work, but I think it will pay off when the player realizes that every potion has unique properties and benefits. I do want to take a moment to say that exploration is not the only use for potions in our game. Running your potion shop is still incredibly important. We have the overarching goal of the game, which is to collect all 180 potions, and we eventually plan to implement a system where you can give potions to adventurers to help them complete their own quests. That's not what our video is about today, so we'll have to save that for a future discussion. So to recap, we imagined a version of Breath of the Wild's cooking system in which Link was stripped of his innate abilities, and we attached them to the meals he makes. In that game, cooking is simply Link's healing system. We wanted to create a game that fully expands on the unique properties of these potions and tie them directly to the world. Of course, much more work needs to be done, but I'm excited to see what uses we can give these potions down the line. If you want to know more about Obojima, check out some of the other videos on our channel, and if you want an inside look at world building in a setting like this, check out our podcast that comes out every Thursday. And I'll see you in the next devlog.